Hello and welcome to Making Mediumship the Norm, the podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Espinasi, known as New Zealand's modern medium, and I have been very privileged over the years to connect thousands of people to their loved ones in spirit, whether that be through one-on-one readings to my sellout Whispers from Above shows. I'm excited to be able to bring you this podcast where together we are going to be bringing mediumship into the everyday homes, the everyday hearts, and everyday conversations. Whether you are here seeking solace after the loss of a loved one, needing guidance on your life's journey, or simply you have a curiosity to explore the mysteries of the universe, the Making Mediumship the Norm podcast is here to support you. My intention with each episode is to help you bridge the gap with life beyond this earth. So without further ado, let's tap into today's episode. Hello and welcome, gorgeous seekers. I'm really honored that you're here and tuning in to this episode because I really feel like this is an important message that will help you to really dive deeper into your connections with your loved ones in the spirit realm, but also the connection that you have with yourself. And so our topic today is always trust spirit. Now, why I say always trust spirit is because us as humans, we have many complexities and there are many different layers to the human experience. And at times, trust is the very thing that humans find the most challenging. Trust is often something that we feel very vulnerable in. It's something that we feel very unsafe in or not in control in. And so trust can be something that challenges us to a deeper level of ourselves. And why trusting spirit becomes even more challenging is because we're dealing with a non-tangible energy. We're dealing with a source that is non-physical. And to the human mind, that's a little bit like, I can't see it, I can't touch it. So to me, it's not real. So why am I going to trust in something that I can't see or feel or know that is truly there? So I've always said to all of my students and all of my clients and all of my community that spirit is never wrong, and to always trust the spirit realm, to trust other beings that are of higher level consciousness than us, to trust God, because they are in a non-physical form. And when we are back to being a non-physical form, we don't have the emotional system that hinders our ability to see the divine unfolding of the perfect plan that is created by God, created by Source, and the depths of beauty and unconditional love and creation and intelligence that is available within the consciousness level. You can call that the quantum realm, whatever way you feel you want to connect with that. And so when I work with the spirit realm, I always trust what I am given. And the reason is because they know things so much better than what we could know. Because as humans, we base our beliefs and we base who we believe ourselves to be from what we've experienced, what we've been taught, what we've read, what we have heard, what we see on television or social media. So we base our understanding of this world and beyond through what we've accumulated and through the assimilation of this life experience. And so our perspective is very limited compared to if you look at the big, wide universe that is out there. So for us as humans, we can only really base things off what we know. And, well, let me just put it in this way, what we think we know. And so when we're working with the spirit realm, at times they're going to say things and we're just going to be like, well, I don't know if that person knows this, or I don't even know if this makes sense, or if this is true, or all of that kind of stuff. And we're kind of going to like doubt ourselves. And what I've always gone on to say, especially like if you do any of my mediumship courses or anything like this, or if you see me live at my shows, or if you have a reading, or however way you are in my space, I'll always say that the spirit realm has your best interest at heart. They are not trying to steer you in a direction that's not going to be beneficial for you. They're not trying to harm you in any way. They're not trying to make life more challenging for you. They are here to fully support you. They're dedicated to you. They are here to ensure that you are maximizing life to your fullest potential and embodied in the truth of who you are. So they're not here to with a hidden agenda or trying to, do anything malicious. And so it can be very challenging at times to trust in something that we don't know the outcome in, because that's just how humans are programmed. We want to make sure we know everything that's going to happen. We have the to-do list. We're so in our minds that we forget to actually live and experience the full capacity that this life has on offer. So when our loved ones in the spirit realm are guiding us to something and we're like, well, I never thought of that, or really, I should do this, and it's not something that maybe has come into our awareness before, it can be very hard to trust. It can be very hard to know how to move in this direction, because you're like, I don't know, what if it doesn't work out, or what if I fail, or what if I make the wrong choice, and all of that kind of stuff. And I've learned to trust spirit always, just like trusting your intuition. It's at times challenging, I get it, but I always say trust in the unknown, trust in the things that make no sense, because as soon as we involve logic, as soon as our minds get in it and they try to rationalize it, and you try to make sense of it, or you try to decompact it to see how it's going to unfold, or what could happen, or you try to reverse engineer it, you're really missing the whole point of it, because the magic and the wonder of the universe and source is the secret sauce, right? It's the cherry on top of how it all unfolds. So I wanted to talk about this topic of trusting the spirit realm because I recently did one of my Whispers from Above shows, and it was just so phenomenal, and I received so many messages from people after the show that confirmed a lot of the things that I had said to them, that at the time at the show they couldn't make sense of it, or they couldn't understand, or they didn't know. And I know now, I've been doing this a very, very long time, that I always give what I'm given, and I don't try to fit it in if, my clients can't understand what it means, because there is always going to be something that unfolds from what we say. So I wanted to share this because I'm sure you've experienced maybe knowing something and not knowing how to give it, or how to interpret it, or to even trust it. And I'm here to say, trust in the spirit realm always. And this is a muscle that we get to develop over time. And something I want you to just keep in mind is the way that you trust the spirit realm is a direct correlation of how you trust yourself. And I just want you to let that simmer for a little bit, because if you can't trust the spirit realm, then you can't trust yourself, because you are spirit more than you are this body. You aren't actually this human body. You are spirit. There is no separation between you and the spirit realm, apart from the fact that, yes, I know you're a human body and your spirit loved ones are not in a human body. So I get that. But in terms of when we understand consciousness, there is no separation between anything, because everything is part of the whole. And so if you're not trusting in the spirit realm, if you're not experiencing using your divine gifts, if you're not playing in the receivership of divine guidance and intelligence and healing and support, then how are you trusting yourself? How are you making those moves in your life that is going to propel you to the things that you truly seek to desire and experience and have in your life? You just can't. So if you're someone that doubts a lot, if you're someone that's very fearful, if you're someone that doesn't move unless you know that it's absolutely 1,000% going to work out, well then I'm going to say your relationship with the spirit realm probably is going to be very doubtful and fearful, and you're probably only going to work with the spirit realm if you're 1,000% sure that it's the spirit realm. So how we do anything is how we do everything. And so when I stand in front of a live audience, and trust me, it's very daunting to stand in front of a live audience and being like, okay, I'm bringing through this loved one. Who is this loved one for in the room? And you've got all these blank faces looking at you, and maybe you've got a shy hand going up, or you know how if you've been to a show, a mediumship show, I know you might know what that means, or maybe you've been to one of my shows, so you know it's like a very interesting experience. And then when we finally get to the connection, you know, there'll be things that mediums will say that won't make sense at the time. And so I just want to share a few examples. I was, bringing through a baby, for example, that had passed at my show. Well, the baby didn't pass at my show. This baby was very adamant and wanted to speak to its parents. And I pointed in the direction of the room, and I was like, I've got a baby boy here and he wants to speak to his parents. I'm like, I want to be in this direction of the room. And sure enough, the parents were right there. And this baby was a stillborn baby. I'm not going to go too much into details, but I kept going on about giraffes. And I was like, I can see something with giraffes, or there's a connection with giraffes. And at the time, they couldn't understand anything. They were like, no, we've got nothing with giraffes. And I was like, okay, well, maybe that might be the theme for the next baby or something like that. Then the mom messaged me, and after, a few days, and she was like, oh my goodness, Melissa, I didn't realize that the blanket the hospital had given us has got giraffes on it. And she sent me the photo of the blanket with the giraffes. So this is just a way that I want to share with you that we always have to trust spirit, because if I gave this message and I was like, oh, okay, you don't get giraffes. Okay, well, I must be wrong. So, whatever. I don't know what the mum finding the blanket is going to do for her. It might give her absolute trust now in the spirit realm that was her baby boy speaking to her. So if I dismiss that message, I'm doing a disservice. So I want to share another example with you. I had a lady who had her mum in the spirit realm, and I was going on about how, she's great with words, and how it, they had such a beautiful connection. And I went on about, bees being her way of letting her know she's going to be around. And at the time, we didn't really dive into it. And she messaged me later and said, I'm so grateful for this connection. And I just wanted to let you know that the bees is quite significant because her brother was a beekeeper. And at the funeral, there was a swarm of bees that was there. And, it's just, I get messages like this all the time. All the time. I've done so many shows. I've done thousands of readings. I have, done lots and lots and lots and lots of this where I know that you just have to give what you're given. Now, I know for probably the majority of you, you're not like working mediums. But how many times have you sat in a conversation with a friend, for example, and you just get this inkling that you want to tell them something, but you're not trusting yourself enough to say it? Or where you've got this nudge and you don't listen to the nudge. So the spirit realm is guiding you. And it's not just in going to a medium and messages you're receiving. It's how they're communicating with you on a daily basis. And that is going to be through signs, through synchronicities, through your dreams, through symbols, through angel numbers, however it works, like a song coming on. There's so many different ways in which the spirit realm is communicating with us, yet we're doubting and we're not trusting. I often say to my clients, like, your person in the spirit realm is saying that they keep sending you the signs and you keep doubting, and so they have to send it to you over and over and over again. Can you trust it the first time? And I'm sure we can all giggle because we've all done it, right? Where we're like, okay, if that was really you, I want to see it again, or I'm going to see this, or, we don't trust. And it is so important that we trust because we are tuning in to pure divine intelligence and wisdom and guidance when we connect to our spirit realm people or our intuition. This is our direct link to who we truly are. And if we're not trusting in spirit, if we're not allowing ourselves to receive what it is that they have for us with an open mind and an open heart, we're going to miss the opportunity to live our optimum life. We're going to miss the opportunity to really make an impact and influence and to continue to serve humanity and rising in consciousness, but also to reach our level of enlightenment that we are here to experience on earth. So spirit is never wrong. It might be how we interpret something that may be not quite as correct, but I really invite you to trust the spirit realm always. Trust the spirit realm beyond anything, beyond any human, beyond anything that you read or anything like that, because trusting in spirit means that you're trusting yourself. You're trusting your own innate guidance and wisdom and your own innate compass, really. You're a spirit. And it's not like you just go, okay, I'm in this human life and then I morph into spirit once I die. It's like, no, you're already spirit while you're in this human body. You're just at the moment more in the physical form of the spirit, but you don't just like magically die and now you're a spirit. Like, the spirit's there. you're currently a spirit as well. And so, if we start developing our muscles and our abilities to trust in the spirit realm, we are going to be able to have better levels of discernment. We're going to be able to make decisions that are from a place of non-persuasion and manipulation. We're going to be able to live from a place of compassion and love and acceptance. We're going to actually be better humans. Not that I believe anything is better or worse, but just to put it in context, we're going to live more in harmony and in peace and in appreciation and actually more in receivership, because when we really understand the workings of this whole intricate but also very simple universe, it's like, why would we not trust in the spirit realm? Why would we not trust in spirit? Why would we not trust in God? It just in some ways makes no sense, because as humans, in the way the human mind is created through the ego and through the programs that we are in this matrix and the illusion and the simulation of life, it's like we only see a very small smidgen of the whole. And so we actually can't even begin to understand what is possible and available for us until we really are developing our connections with the spirit realm. And then eventually what you'll find is that once you've built the connection with the spirit realm, you won't even realize that you're connecting with the spirit realm. It will just become as natural as breathing. Like, you don't think about breathing, you just breathe. And so eventually you'll feel like you don't even need to sit down and have a conversation or, see the signs or whatever. Like, you'll just be in receivership and knowingness, and you'll move so easily without doubting or questioning, because you'll be one. And that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming to feel the non-separation. So the spirit realm really helps us to make sense of who we are. They remind us of our potential and our wholeness and the truth of who we are, and not the identities and beliefs that we've made as humans, because those aren't realities. Who you think you are right now is not the reality. Who you've spent years becoming, in a sense, isn't a reality, because you are spirit having a human experience, not a human having a spiritual experience. And so this episode is really an invitation for you to start trusting in the spirit realm more, or spirit, God, whoever it is that you feel you identify with. And I always say our loved ones are the portal to the universe, to God, because they are familiar to us, and they are, of course, the bridge in a way. They're the portal. They are the beings that are really there helping us to dissolve all that separation and distrust and unknowing. So I just hope that you start trusting more in yourself, in your ability to know. I work with so many people and they just go, well, I don't know. I don't trust myself. I don't know if I'm making the right decisions. I can't. I need to know how it's going to happen. And I'm like, that's a very disempowering place to be, because you have all the answers within you. And I know that can be a very frustrating answer, because sometimes you're like, I don't know. I can't find the answer. Oh, I laugh because, even though I'm a pretty bang on intuitive and medium, it's like some days I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what the answer is. But we do. And sometimes the answer is so in our face, obvious. And sometimes we have to experience the unfolding and trusting, not knowing how it's happening. And so every experience is going to be different, because it just depends on what the physical manifestation of it is. So I hope you start to trust, knowing that, yes, everything is inside of you, and you have beautiful tools and support to help you to extract that knowing that is within you, And it's really up to you to do your due diligence to learn how to do that. And the best way is to, if you want to just get to the thing, is to work with your loved ones in the spirit realm. They remind you how invincible and unstoppable and powerful and amazing you are. And it's just a beautiful energy to be surrounded with. And they will never, ever, 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 ever steer you in the wrong direction. Not that there ever is a wrong direction in your life, but they are always going to steer you in the direction that's going to have the most incredible outcome for you. So, as I always say, trust in the spirit realm. Always and always and always and always. So, my loves, here's to our loved ones in the spirit realm that guide us and love us, support us, and remind us of our truth and our potential, and that this life is meant for living in its fullest expression and optimum potential. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. I want to express my utmost gratitude for having you joining me on this journey in making mediumship the norm. As we together continue to explore the depths of the spiritual realm, I ask if you could please leave a 5-star review for the podcast. Your feedback and your ratings not only brighten up my day, but they also help others to discover the podcast so we can truly bring mediumship into the everyday homes and conversations. And if you're ready to dive in deeper and want to work with me and see what possibilities await you, I encourage you to book in a reading with me or to check out the Soul Love Academy. Thank you so much for being part of this incredible journey in making mediumship the norm. I can't wait to connect with you in the next episode. Until then, remember that you are a gift to the world. Together we awaken, together we align, and together we ascend. Love always, Melissa Espinaci. Mwah!